AITA for refusing to allow my BF's best friend to come to dinner over a dirty coffee mug. So my F23 boyfriend, M25, we can call him David, has about 5 guy friends. I like all of them, and we've been on good terms for years. About once a month, I tell my boyfriend to invite them over for dinner. Usually I cook, clean the table, and do the dishes. It's a labor of love, and I enjoy doing it. This tradition has been going on for years. Most of them put away their dishes in the dishwasher, but I do the bulk of the work. Now, David, BF, is closest with Mark, M25. About a month ago, Mark broke up with his GF, and he has been hanging out at our place almost every day. We all work from home, so he just shows up in the morning. I don't mind this either, David asked me if it was all right. What I mind is that Mark is a freaking slob. Multiple coffee mugs all over the house, water cups, crumbs on the counter, dirty dishes, even his dirty socks. Once I made several comments to Mark that this is not dinner night, and if he is going to be over so much, he is not going to be treated as a guest, and he needs to learn to clean after himself. He only rolled his eyes at me. I told David 2 weeks ago that Mark needs to learn to pick after himself. They had a talk, and Mark did make an effort for a few days, but we are back at square one. David saw me getting frustrated, so now Mark comes over once a week and David is quick to clean up after him. It still bugs me the wrong way, so yesterday when I felt like having people over for dinner, I invited everyone but Mark. David did not ask why. Maybe he figured it out, I don't know. Mark came to pick something today and asked me why he wasn't invited, and I told him. He was surprised and called me petty and said that it was unfair to be singled out over a dirty mug. I told him that unless he changes, I am not cooking for him. He is welcome to come over and have David wait on him, but not me. I don't know if it is important, but the house is David's, but we live together. He got upset, called me an a-hole, and left. Did I overreact? I can't tell at this point. Edit. To add, since a lot of people think I am cosplaying a trad wife, consider that. I've known these people for 6 years. They are my friends at this point. My own friends have serious food allergies, so anything out of my kitchen is inedible to 2 of them, which makes for a crappy dinner invitation. I want to do this. No one is making me. No one is forcing me to slave in the kitchen. My cooking is a hobby. I am more than happy to share it with people. I do feel obligated to set up and clean up. I am the one to invite them, so it only happens when I feel like it. AITA for getting mad at a child? Hello. Tonight I, 23F, went out with my sister, 29F, for a musical night at a local pizzeria where her boyfriend was playing. I really like to go out like that, but I usually bring some stuff to do as I tend to get distracted very easily and need to be stimulated while I do passive stuff like that. So tonight I decided to bring some yarn and work on a knitting project. I had brought about 3 skeins of yarn that all fit in my bag. As I was knitting, I wasn't necessarily keeping an eye on my bag, so while I wasn't paying attention, one of the kids that sat next to us must have gotten close to me, saw what was in my bag, took out a skein, and started playing with it. This is what I think must have happened because after some time I looked around and one of the skeins that were in my bag was destroyed. It was so tangled it would have been impossible to save it in any way. Plus it had been dragged all across the restaurant floor and it was matted with dust, hair, and crumbs from the pizzas. It wasn't the skein I was knitting with, as that one had never left my lap. This is where I might be the asshole. When I realized what had happened, I turned around, and when I saw the kid, I scolded him. He was a little boy. He couldn't have been older than 5. But I was so upset that I just asked him if it had been him who took my yarn out of my bag and dragged it across the floor and ruined it. Then I was so mad that I told him that he should learn not to go rummage through other people's things and that he ruined one of my toys. I literally said that. And that what he did had me very upset. I was genuinely so pissed I was on the verge of tears. The mother of the child then intervened and basically started yelling at me and told me that I shouldn't have brought yarn to a restaurant and that I am an entitled little bitch to speak like that to a child. And that children are going to act like children and people should be patient and tolerate even the more annoying stuff. Am I the asshole? This whole thing really ruined my night, and I am so upset and sad about the yarn that I lost because it was counted for a specific project that I was excited about, and now I'm going to have to spend more money to replace it. But I might have been too harsh on the kid and now I feel guilty, like I should have been more patient. I don't know. Edit. I should have said this in the original, but despite being very upset, I never yelled in the kid's face. I was stern, but I never screamed at the kid. I was nervous and less than happy, but I was not yelling. Edit number 2. Like one commenter indirectly pointed out, I should not have skimmed over the fact that the child did confess to doing this. I asked him as I was that he had a bit of yarn in his hand at some point, and when I asked him, he said he'd done it. AITA for not giving the stray cat I found back to his original owner. So a feral cat colony lives in my neighborhood, and I often trap them to be spayed while neutered. In December 2024, I trapped an adult tuxedo cat. I was planning on neutering and releasing him, but he was so loving. I brought him inside for a flea bath and he would not stop hugging me, like literally putting both arms around my neck. After taking him to the vet, I saw he wasn't neutered or microchipped and had tapeworms. I assumed he was a friendly stray who lived in the colony and kept him. Fast forward 9 months and a friend sent me a Facebook post on a local community page of a woman claiming she was missing her cat. A picture showed a male tuxedo and she even said he loved to give hugs. I knew it was him because he has a distinct white spot in the middle of his forehead. I was shocked. She said she knew it was a long shot since he went missing in December, but she was not aware of the Lost Pet Facebook page. Only the local shelter, who was not much help since he never made it there. He made it in my house instead. I feel so guilty because she is probably thinking the worst happened to him. I wish I could tell her that he's safe, but I know if I did, she would want him back. My friend thinks giving him back is the right thing to do, but he has the best home with me and has bonded with my cat and I. In the lady's post, she said her 4-year-old daughter misses him and that he was their beloved outdoor-indoor cat. I truly feel bad for the owner's daughter. However, the woman does not sound like a good cat owner. It is not legal in our city to let your cats roam, and it is extremely dangerous for them. Also, he was in bad condition and not neutered, so I think it's very irresponsible she was letting him outside to reproduce and expand the colony near our homes. He is just so happy with me, and I would hate for him to end up missing dead as a part-time outdoor cat. So, am I the asshole for pretending like I never saw the post? Edit. A lot of people are wondering why I didn't make more of an effort to contact the owners. Looking back, I probably should have. In addition to the things I've already stated, he was infested with fleas, had scratches all over his face and ears, did not understand how to use stairs, and was terrified of my TV. His poor condition, slight under-socialization, and unfamiliarity with common household things led me to believe he did not have owners. AITA, forcing family to cook purely vegetarian meals to please one person? Hi all. My partner recently moved into my house with her 2 children. The move itself was rushed and required that we both get rid of a lot of things and compromise on how we're going to use space. We both had our own sizable homes, etc. Nothing unusual about 2 middle-aged adults with successful careers and teenage children. My partner's a vegetarian, and she chooses that largely for ethical reasons. I understand that, however, I don't share her ethical beliefs, but I do try to respect them by reducing our meat intake, buying from farmers markets, and generally reducing the amount of animal cruelty and abuse in our diet. There are definitely meals that she doesn't like us to make in the house, especially things that generate strong meat-based odors. Over time, I figured out which ones are no-goes and things I have to make outside. I understand that some compromise is needed to allow everyone to be happy. We have the schedule now, where everyone in the house helps with cooking. I cook 2 days a week. She cooks 1 day a week. Busy schedule. And our kids cook twice a week with leftovers on the other days. Mostly it's been working. The one sticking point we have that has proven really difficult is that she insists that some meals be fully vegetarian, even when some of the kids don't want to eat vegetarian. I've tried to get around this by cooking fully vegetarian meals and then adding some sort of separately cooked meat supplement, or generating menus like tostadas or sandwiches where there could be both vegetarian and meat options. To be clear, we do cook some fully vegetarian meals, but sometimes not everyone's in the mood for that. The meals we make are not just vegetarian side dishes. We try to make fully incorporated vegetarian meals with options that are not just mac and cheese, so I don't think we're doing her a disservice by making meat sides. So my question is this: AITA for not wanting to force the kids to eat vegetarian, just so that some meals are fully vegetarian. I don't want to get into a big fight about this with her, but I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot and I told her that some meals had to be fully meat inclusive, that would be a deal breaker for sure. Thoughts? And if you have made it this far in the video, don't forget to like and to share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for a cookie.